Hello, Chris. How you doing today?
Fantastic. And I assume it's bright and sunny in Los Angeles and the region there.
Yeah, the sun poked out. We had a really crazy rainstorm with thunder and lightning last night.
Oh, that's nice. You don't get those that often. I remember one time there was a tornado that touched down in the Bay Area,
Mm.
and the people of San Francisco were like, what the hell is that? So, weather does definitely shape our experiences on the planet, no doubt about that.
Especially with all this really crazy Pisces energy and the Sun Neptune energy, I felt it a lot. I mean, here I really thought I was on a ship out in the middle of the seas. I was like,
Uh,
whoa.
Oh, that's good if you have strong water connections in your chart too, because you can kind of get that empathetic response from nature. And of course, rain always brings new growth and it flushes things out and cleanses things.
It
So,
definitely flushes things out, especially this Pisces energy. It just flushes you to your cleanest energy, I feel.
hmm yeah, and starting on Friday, as we move into the week, the only straggler is going to be Venus, still hanging out in Aquarius, getting ready to enter and make that conjunction with Neptune as it moves through Pisces. So that's actually going to be a big event when it finally arrives there because Neptune and Venus are very much harmonious. So we're going to see that love energy, that, nurturing energy that Venus also brings with it get ratcheted up when it transits over Neptune in early Pisces.
Yeah, I'm looking forward for Venus. Venus is trying to catch up to the party. She's like, "Oh, wait for me, everybody." She's
Right.
really trying to get there. And I've been calling her kind of like the jet ski trailer or the little mini boat U-Haul trailer, like in the Zodiac right now. But what she's doing is she's been really making sure that our values are in the right place, that, a lot of our relationships are really going to be in this right spiritual place. All the other planets are really forward right now, really pushing our consciousness in new areas, and we got to make sure that we trail last and make sure we pick up the right partnerships, that we pick up the right values, because this is important shifting energy we've been going through.
Oh, it absolutely is. And then we've got, Saturn retrograde,
Yeah.
and that's keying in. The sun is advancing, and Saturn retrograde in Scorpio is going to be in trine to the sun, and that's going to bring some new thinking into play. Who knows? Maybe the Pope won't abdicate after all. I mean, a lot of people are going to change their mind, I think, over this next week or so.
Yeah, because here we are, Mercury retrograde, Saturn retrograde, and I think this Mercury retrograde is one of the biggest rethinking moments that we'll ever experience, especially in this Pisces realm, to have all the planets hanging out with Mercury that will get humped. Mercury's going to come back, hit Mars really quick here at this week, starting in the beginning of this week coming up, so we can start to rethink our actions in our life. A lot, like you said, like the Pope probably rethinking his actions. A lot of us making sure that we're not lost in our actions. This gives us some really good, clear mental energy to make sure that we align in the right place, that we start charging forward in our life in the right place. And then, Mercury's going to pass over the sun again in Pisces. So this is going to be a really interesting Mercury retrograde with the clarity that you wouldn't expect. This is spiritual clarity. This is, getting closer to spirit and learning how to listen to spirit better than ever.
Right, it absolutely is. And, whenever you've got this much energy concentrated in one sign, it's going to draw you into the core vibration of that particular sign. And Pisces is all about the return home, the journey back to that cosmic identity that we all possess within us. So we're going to see a lot of people having to confront their ego in this next week. And one of the things I found interesting was that they just released the news that Blade Runner down in South Africa there, they found testosterone and needles in his home. And I think we're going to see incidents like this. You know, people who use hormone treatments like that to enhance their muscle growth, etc. They don't always recognize that it's also going to put that extra edge of masculine energy in there. You're very confrontational, very territorial, very aggressive. A lot of times you can identify people in the gym just by the fact that they're super aggressive and kind of edgy. And so we're seeing this cycle here where we're affecting our body and our mental state by the use of things that we might imagine to be enhancing, but in reality they have a very dark backside to them. So I think we'll see more and more of this revelation as to what people are doing to themselves as we see all this concentrated energy in Neptune in Pisces.
Yes, you bring up amazing points there. I mean, I'm going to bring some comedy into this, but usually people who do that testosterone, little do they know, they shrink their you-know-what.
Oh, and, yes.
That's a really big dark side there. I mean, look at Lance Armstrong. I mean, even though I feel bad he had testicular cancer, it is making a lot of sense if he's been juicing up for decades.
Right. And it frequently makes the sex drive very erratic. And so it's like, you know, you either are completely offline or you want to go out and kill something in the sex act. So a lot of scary stuff coming up around these issues. And I think there's going to be more public attention placed on that because, you know, you can order these drugs from China, from Canada, from wherever. And we really need to stop and address this because this is adding an additional layer of negative, aggressive, fearful energy to our society as a whole.
And you bring up the greatest point here because what is this Pisces Neptune energy? It is to get higher vibration. And all this does is really restrict you from your high vibration. That's why I don't look at the Pisces energy as just drugs in general. I think it can be anything that holds you back, obstacle-wise, from reaching the highest core. And it's that high vibration energy where if you can find ways to tap into your higher energy, that's why the beauty of this Pisces energy is, I mean, going out in nature, doing a swim in the ocean, you know, and it comes with compassion. If there is no compassion in whatever it is you're doing, I would stay away from it right now.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't have knowledge about it, because again, Neptune can obscurificate things. And you may believe with all of your heart and soul that, you know, you have the answer, you have the understanding, the comprehension, and the reality is that you're really in a fog bank. And so you need to be somewhat cautious if you're adding influences of this sort into your lifestyle, because what you think you know and what is reality are always going to come into conflict as the sun is in Pisces.
Yeah, and as we come into this weekend, you know, this really is the last weekend of Venus in Aquarius, which I think Venus in Aquarius has been very subtle in our background. You know, usually we feel Venus very heavy, but because we're in this fog, we're in this higher vibration, we're in this very spiritual energy, you know, our relationships are really there for us. You know, there are lots of people that we realized here in the last month that have got our backs, but this is also us readjusting, you know, the relationships that have the same vision as we do, that have the same electric energy, that really want to connect on the same vibrations as we want. Because I look at this as a vibration alignment with the relationships as well. Like, we're only going to align with the people that are in our vibration right now, that have that same genius outlook of our future, because all this Pisces energy is actually the boat that takes us to the future we realized in Aquarius. This is what takes you there, and it gets rid of the crap in your life. It gets rid of all the obstacles to take you to that future. I mean, this is really that window of opportunity. And Venus in Aquarius, the last bit here is, are you sure you're aligned with those same people, those same visions? Have you found, you know, new ways to reach out to people? Have you found new values in your life as well that are only going to take you on this beautiful higher energy?
Right. Well, and the essential card around this whole thing we've been dialoguing about is the Five of Cups, and that is a card of cathartic release, letting go of the past, letting go of, again, the things that attach you to people on a negative vibrational level.
Mm.
You know, if you still are very upset because you got dumped by your girlfriend, you know, that's going to create enough residue to keep you from getting up to that next level in your own spiritual journey. So this is cathartic release time, and Mars is sitting there at 16 of Pisces, and so anger will come up to the surface. You know, whenever you're dead center in the middle of a sign, you always really kind of get that peak period there. It's like being on top of Mount Everest with Mars and, you know, then the Sun, Neptune, and Mercury beneath that position. So, yeah, you're going to see a lot of people having to stop and address old anger issues as we go through the weekend and as Venus trundles on into Pisces.
Yeah, I'm excited because right as we come into the week, you know, here we are with a newly retrograded Mercury to rethink the whole entire spiritual energy, our whole vibrational energy. But as Venus steps into Pisces, Mercury and Mars, like you said, this anger, this also in a very beautiful way, are you really charging forward in the right place? It gives us this energy to make sure that as we leave Mars and Mercury, we then have Venus to come in to bring this feminine energy, because now our masculine energy, I think, will have been cleaned out in a very good way, and it can start to move forward, get ready to go home to Aries. I mean, once we see Mars come into Aries here, that's when this thing's going to really start to kabam. I mean, our lives are really going to go into the new direction. So this is this very important week of now adjusting our feminine, our beautiful energy to really tap in with spirit, and Venus coming close up to Neptune here, like you talked about earlier. I can't wait to see what the card is for that, because that is going to be this really washed out, very clean moment where we can actually really start to feel the pure energy of Pisces completely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be interesting because on Friday, the day, you know, that we're releasing this video, we have the moon finishing up its journey through Cancer. So it's finishing up a lot of those emotional things that you're stubborn about, because Cancer is a very stubborn kind of placement for the moon. It likes Cancer, and Cancer likes the moon. But by the time the weekend is over, we're going to have the moon late Sunday in the latter degrees of Leo. And so it's almost like the weekend is going to start Sunday night instead of Friday night, as far as social interaction, things happening, people going places and doing things. And that, I think, is going to give us kind of a crash and burn Monday. I think Monday's going to be a difficult day for people.
Monday is going to be when all this energy happens. We have the moon, which is going to oppose all the Pisces energy.
Right.
So emotions are really going to be here on Earth, but yet we're being pulled completely into spirit. And that's going to be this really weird energy. This is going to bring us back to a taste of January of 2012. We had Mars retrograde in Virgo then, and it was opposing Neptune. And really, this is now with Mars over here in Pisces. So this is going to bring this really weird energy back of, you know what, our emotions can get really stuck in our reality, but it's about finding a way to bridge our emotions and go with the flow and let reality accept the flow, because emotionally we're going to be really tied to what's happening in our lives, yet we're learning to just flow with spirit, to just literally complete this higher vibration and bridge that into this reality. And a moon in Virgo can get really upset if there is no reality, especially when there's this much energy in Pisces. It can be hard for our emotions to feel comfortable, because it will feel like we're trying to figure out every little moment of every reason of what's going on. It's going to be a really weird week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it absolutely is. And I think there are going to be more outbreaks of craziness in society as a large, component of the week. So it's going to be a good week for people to keep their focus on their surroundings. Don't show up at the wrong place at the wrong time, because there are elements out there that can spike people into doing irrational things. So make sure you know where you're going and what you're doing this week. But yeah, then Thursday we will have that advance, and Neptune will be entertaining Venus Wednesday, Thursday, and the moon, of course, will be moving into Libra. So how cool is that? A perfect balance there. And the card for that passage, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week, is the World card. So this is expanding your horizons. It is merging with universal consciousness, and it is also exploring the possibility that the world you live in can become much bigger, because you see her arms there as she's opening up to embrace a bigger vision of reality. So as the week plays out, we will have those ideas coming up. Oh, gee, maybe I should.
Your birthday, though, that next day.
Yeah, that's well, astrologically, if you go by progression, my solar return this year is actually going to be the 28th. But
oh, really? Well, good. Right. Yeah, the leap year from last year really kind of adjusted things weird.
Yeah, it did. And so yeah, the big birthday adventure for me places the moon in the center of Libra, and the sun at 10 of Pisces, and then we'll have Venus at 3 of Pisces, exactly conjunct to Neptune.
Yeah, I see that.
And then
plus you're going to have Pluto, which will now be at 11, making a sextile to Saturn. Exactly.
Right.
That's very strong.
And the sun is firing that pair of sextiles off. So yeah, it's going to be a very impressive period, I think, for people who are opening their awareness and wanting to gain a higher perspective. That's what all of this early stuff that's happening in Pisces is all about, is getting us to entertain ideas of reinventing ourselves before the sun actually hits Aries and transits over Uranus, because that's when we take action. But in the interim, we're baking it. We need to bake it for a while.
And I forgot to mention to people, when we come into this week, it's a full moon in Virgo, not only just a normal moon in Virgo that's going through all this Pisces stuff. It's a full moon there. So I think you're right with the people in this world. It can go really crazy. I mean, this is going to be a week where especially because we have Mercury retrograde now, what you thought is definitely not anymore, Everything's going to change mentally. Our perception is going through a complete new change. It's like a kaleidoscope, You thought it was that image, and now it's going, it's turning into blues and oranges and greens when it was reds and, whites. And, it just is a complete perception change. I think that a kaleidoscope is the best way to describe Pisces energy, of how it's ever changing. You'll never figure out exactly what color's coming next. It's the highest vibration, and our emotions this week, especially at the week, are going to want to know what is the vibrational color, when really it's up in the air. You're going to have to follow the clues of spirit. Your dream will give you the answer, not a printout and a paper. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and dreaming definitely is going to spike. I mean, everybody I'm talking to already is noticing that they're having more dreams. But then we're going to have, an additional spike with a dream cycle. And like you said, that full moon in Virgo, interestingly enough, is, Virgo is the obsessive compulsive sign. Virgo does not dust the books on the bookshelf. Virgo takes every frickin' book off the shelf and dusts it individually.
Yeah.
It's that kind of nitpickish energy. And you combine that with a lot of really disconnected from the material realm kind of energy that this Neptune Pisces thing is bringing to us. It's going to be a weird full moon. So time to order in pizza and just chill and watch reruns of Gillian's Island for 24 hours.
Yeah, and I think connect with relationships that you know you really spiritually want to connect with, because that Venus and Neptune will be hooking up. So it's a great week
Mm-hmm.
even for sex in the bed if that's spiritually good, if that's spiritually what you're wanting. You know, I mean, this can really blast you off in an astral projection as well. This is great if we want to step into more advanced stuff. This is the week where you can astral project. If you're
Oh,
in that right energy, if you know how to tune in, if you're willing to just let go of this reality and completely want to connect with your higher self and the universal energies, this is the week. Go have fun with it. Go try it out.
oh, absolutely. Yeah, especially when at the end of the week we've got Venus, Neptune exactly conjunct.
Yeah.
You know, that's like that song from the Moody Blues, Timothy Leary's dead. No, no, no.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's out there in the cosmos, and we can join him. That's what's cool about it.
Yeah. So really, really exciting week, and I'm happy for you. You know, this week leads up to your birthday, and you know I've had so much fun doing this with you, Chris. Do we have any other cards to pull for just like I guess the whole week in general?
As a synopsis, well, we've got the card of marriage and harmony, the Four of Rods.
Mm.
And this is symbolic, number one, of people on their own inner scale, you know, loving yourself, making that commitment to yourself, enjoying the dance of life, and then going out and spreading it through society. So this is a week of marriage and dancing and joyousness. And if you have that as your intention for the next 7 days, you're going to have a good time.
That's if you're willing to dance to rock when they're playing rock and jazz when it plays jazz. The
Right.
radio station's going to change to multiple frequencies, so dance to every frequency.
Yes, yes. As Yuval Ron, my friend Yuval Ron said, you know, get out and dance with your heart, and dance in your head, and dance on your head. So,
I like that.
yeah, he's quite a profound character. Anyway,
That's the exact best way to end this week. It really is. How well do you dance? And we all know the universe is the best dancer. I'm sure you've watched the stars and those galaxies dance, you know, in your telescopes and on things. Can you do that here? You know, one thing about Pisces is it is the best dancers. They are.
yeah, absolutely. And this is giving everybody a chance to join the dance. You know, this is opening it up from the Pisces side of planetary alignment, but inviting everybody to get in there and twirl like the Sufis.
And music, you know, one thing about Pisces is it rules music, it rules media. I mean, really listen to music this week. This will get you out of that Virgo energy when you need it, especially on the full moon. This is the time to release all the past of Earth. It's time to leave Earth a little bit. It's okay. You can leave Earth. You can listen to some music. It's time to really float away into your imagination. Take a journey and see where it takes you. That's what the universe is. You know, we're kind of stuck here on Earth. So it's an interesting time, you know, when you're off Earth, you're floating around. You know, if you're a part of that universal energy, you get to like, who knows where you end up, right? It's beautiful.
Exactly.
So listen to some music this week too. I mean, this is the best week for music ever.
Absolutely, especially when Venus hits Neptune. Boy, you'll get the mystical experience right down to the core of your being.
Yeah.
So, well, it was great, David, and
Yeah.
I'm very pleased to see that you're making progress without cigarettes.
Yeah.
So
just
that is a
doing my
beautiful.
thing.
There you go. So advancing forward, clear and clean.
Well, thank you so much, Chris, and have a happy birthday too.
Oh, thanks so much, and I'm sure I will, and I'll speak to you in a week.
Yeah, I'll see you next week. Thanks, Chris.
Great, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.